Hello everyone, it is I, the Witch of Paint. Welcome to this video. This week I am doing another painting inside a painting thing, but with a fairy rather than a fox like last week. And I do start off by doodling this time again, this time though on a separate piece of paper rather than my sketchbook, because my sketchbook is almost done and I just kind of want to keep it until I find a new sketchbook for these videos. Anyways, as I wasn't exactly sure what I was going to draw this week, I sort of doodled around on this paper a little bit, and I eventually come back to thinking about the pictures of trash and rubbish that I took while we were on a walk in the glen last Saturday. I suppose the images just didn't really leave my mind, really, and I just kind of had to do something with them, because otherwise they were going to stay in my head and bother me for the rest of the week. In a way, I did take those because I had this kind of idea in my head of fairies or other fairy tale creatures kind of protesting against the trash that humans like to throw away into nature without a second thought. So I decided I was going to do something with that, mostly because I've taken quite a few pictures of the trash that was in the glen, partly because there was a little bit of a flood, there's been a lot of rain, and a lot of trash has been washed up onto the path and has stayed there since then, and nobody's come to pick it up. But obviously some of it is still kind of things that people threw to the side of the path, and it bugged me, and it will probably always bug me because this is not just going to go away anytime soon. So the basic premise of this for me was I was going to draw a fairy that was either protesting or just a part of this painting with the trash. And I decided to do something like I did with last week's video with the fox, where I do a painting inside a painting. This time though it was the fairy and the trash, basically a trash fairy. Now, I'm not here to lecture anyone about throwing trash away, because really it should be human common sense that those kind of things don't belong into nature. You don't throw plastic into nature. That should be common sense, in my opinion. So I'm not going to try and lecture you. I just kind of felt like this was a good way to get some of the things that I see outside onto paper, and maybe raise a little bit of awareness, because this is an issue that people, well, not we, I don't throw trash out into nature, but a lot of people, or at least some, I don't mean to, offend anyone, but some people seem to not think about anything when they throw away their trash. I don't know what kind of word to use to describe the way I feel about people who do that sort of thing, throwing trash into nature like this. It disgusts me, I suppose. It disgusts me, it bugs me, it ruins my walks through nature, through woods, through glens. But we're not here for lectures. We're here to sketch, which is what we are going to be doing now, as I've finished messing around with the little images on the paper. So I am ready now to flip over my painting board and start sketching on the A4 sheet of paper that was meant for this painting. I stick to the sort of fairy idea with the trash inside, but I end up dividing it into 5 different sections. One being kind of her body, sort of, with a t-shirt, and then the other sections that I'll be drawing on will be in her wings, because we've got kind of 4, this fairy at least. And that's basically what I'm gonna be doing for the painting. She's gonna be sitting cross-legged on top of a flower, and basically just look at the viewer, I guess, with a serious face. At least I tried, as small as the face was, Now, the first thing kind of that I draw from the references is a coffee cup. That was one of the first things that I spotted when we went on our walk. It wasn't even that far into our walk that I saw this coffee cup. They really need to put up some bins at the glen. That would help a lot, actually. But I'm not for city council, I suppose. Anyway, I also sketch a glass bottle, which I suppose isn't as much of an issue as a plastic cup, but it is still trash, so counts. And then I sketched a lid that was thrown into a hollow tree stump, and then also a net thingy that was lying around next to the infamous styrofoam fairy house that I have already done a redesign of, at least on paper, not actually built a redesigned fairy house for that. But I have touched it to see if it was styrofoam, and yes, it is definitely styrofoam. Not fun, not good. Not good to have it out in nature in a place that is so wet. Right, okay, I told myself I wasn't going to rant, at least not too much. And then there was also this clothy looking thing that had gotten caught up in some plants at the side of a river. That's also something I decided to sketch in. And this time, I also make sure that before I start painting, I write down which colours I plan on using in the painting. So, for you all who, I don't know, want to know what colours I've used the Van Gogh colours again. And the colours that I used are lemon yellow, Mother Lake Deep, indigo, sap green, Payne's grey, neutral tint, burnt sienna, sepia, and yellow ochre. Quite a few colours there, but generally trying to keep it in the natural tones, except for the bits that are the trash, obviously. But anyways, I eventually got tired of using my phone to look at the references I've got a big laptop on my desk right in front of me that can show them to me even better. So I eventually, if you see my arm kind of stretching over the painting, I'm trying to switch between the different reference photos that I used for this. It's just in case you're wondering. And that left my phone free for filming short videos for YouTube too, since YouTube loves those a lot more right now than actual videos like this. Anyway, let's not get caught up over silly YouTube algorithm issues. I don't want to get too negative in this video. But as time goes on, I may do more paintings like this one. Maybe like a whole series of paintings revolving around fairies and fairy tale creatures protesting against trash that humans have left in nature for no reason other than laziness. Too lazy to take trash home, or too lazy to put up bins in places where they probably should put up bins. Anyway, I decided that the features of the fairy are going to be all in a greyish tone. So I was going to do the fairy herself in monotone colours, so that's her face, her arms, and the flowers that she's sitting on, just so the images of the trash pop out a little bit more. The background I leave completely white because I didn't want anything to blend in there. Okay, I say completely white, but really in the end I do put some splashes on there just to add a little bit of visual interest, I suppose. But there's already so much going on with this painting that I don't do much for the background at all, because the main focus of this is the fairy and the trash, obviously. Anyway, I'd love it if you let me know if you would like to see more paintings like this one, where the fairies are either protesting against trash or are involved in paintings with the trash. Or should I just stick to my usual happy-go-lucky paintings that are just pretty and have no real purpose other than being pretty, which, you know, that's a purpose too, you know. But let me know down in the comments below what you think of these kinds of paintings. And, you know, while you're down there, why not like this video and subscribe? It helps me out a lot if you do. Anyways, back to the video. After laying down some first initial washes of colour, I add some detail to the fairy's face and the images of the trash. I just slowly build everything up from the lights to the darks until I am somewhere I'm happy with. I actually think I first did the face and the arms of the fairy and the flower as well, because they were in monotone colours. It wasn't really, you know, all different colours that I had to keep track of. I just could do them in basically one go. So that was basically what I did first. Then I moved on to, focusing on the separate images of the trash, constantly switching between the references that I have. I do leave out some things like the coffee cup's text that's written on it. I leave that out for the sake of simplicity. You don't really need to know what kind of coffee cup it was. It's trash, and that's all that matters in this painting. You don't need to know where the trash came from. It's the fact that it's there. That's the issue. It doesn't matter where it came from, it's not supposed to be there anyway. So for the sake of simplicity, I don't put any writing on the coffee cup in the painting. Because all that matters for this painting is that it's trash, and it doesn't belong in that glen. It just doesn't. It belongs in the bin, whether that be the bin at home, or a bin that is currently not existing at the glen, and that should be there. Anyway, where was I? I gotta say, she is quite pretty, although I think I made her face just a tad bit too long. Not sure, but it bugs me a little, like a lot of things this week. But otherwise, I think she's fine. Towards the end, I finally add some shadows to the legs and a little bit to the sleeves as well, just to give their outfit a little bit of dimension at least. Make it look less like she's flat and the painting behind it isn't. Kind of. Does that even make sense? I don't know. And like with my past couple of paintings, I don't use any metallic colours with this one because, I didn't feel like it needed any of that. It's trash, and to me, trash shouldn't be glittery or shiny or pretty. It should be in the bin, technically. But it was out in nature, and that's why I took pictures of it and decided to paint them just to showcase how much there is out there. And before you say, why didn't you pick up the trash? That's not my job. It's not my job to pick up other people's trash, and I was there to take a walk and not pick up trash. Thank you. Oh yeah, before I forget, I was trying out a new tape with this painting. The name of it was Niho Artist Tape. So it's from Niho. I don't know how to pronounce it, sorry. It was something Mum bought and asked me to try out to see if it was better than any of the other tapes that I have used in the past. And in all honesty, I was a little nervous to just try it out while I was making a painting for a video. Probably wasn't the smartest move. I should have tried it out with smaller paintings. But maybe I let the writing on the little cover of the tape influence me a little. It said it was easy to peel off, so I kind of decided to just go for it and test it on something that I was already painting. But I was really scared I would end up ripping the paper apart and ruin everything. But luckily, as I peeled it off later in this video, it doesn't rip the paper at all. It came off just fine, and I can't tell you how glad I was when it came off without a hitch, without any kind of issues. I mean, I was a bit nervous because it was stuck down to the board really well, so I was kind of scared it was going to rip the paper, but it didn't. Yay! And that's made me really, really happy. That was one positive thing that came out of this painting, essentially. I may have now found the perfect tape for me, after all. At least for me. This is not sponsored, it's just something that my mum bought and wanted me to try out, and since I was going to paint something anyways, I used it, and I'm glad it worked out, because if it hadn't, I would have had a big, big panic moment. But I do still have to kind of test it out with a sort of whole painting where I wet the entire paper and paint something on there and see if that's going to still stay stuck. So I guess that's something for next video. We're gonna put this tape to the test a little bit more throughout the next videos, I suppose, even though I still have a lot of my other tapes to use. So if you have any kind of like requests or suggestions for future paintings, the comment section's always there to write down some of the things you'd like to see painted. I will paint them, whatever it is. I'll just pick one out, I guess. Anything from, I guess, a character to landscapes to weird creatures you guys want to see drawn. I'm up for suggestions, otherwise I would just pick something for myself and do something. I haven't decided yet. Who knows? Anyways, we're at the end of the video now, and so let's take a look at the final result here. As odd as the painting might look at first glance, I think she turned out very beautiful. I mean, it was a really experimental idea that I had with this. I could have just gone for the protesting fairy with a sign or something, but I didn't feel like that was going to quite get the vibe I was going for with this particular painting. But I do think it was definitely the right choice to make the face, arms, and the flowers. The flower, there's multiple flowers. I also put flowers in the hair. I just forgot that. Anyway, I do think it was the right choice to make those in a sort of monocolour thing. That way, everything is still kind of separated, but also kind of not. It makes the trash paintings pop out a little bit more. All in all, I like what I've created with this, and in a way I took trash and made something beautiful with it, but that's not the main point of this painting. The main point is not for it to be pretty, the point of it is to kind of make people think a little bit more before they throw something like coffee cups, bottles, whatever other plastic stuff they have lying around into nature, because it's not good. It ruins the overall look of the forest, first of all, and it ruins the, environment, I suppose, in a way, because plastic is not going to decompose. It's going to stay there for ages, and it's going to slowly degrade, and it's going to potentially poison the environment there. It's not good, and that's basically why I made this painting. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it, and it helps me out a lot. Follow me on my socials and check out my Twitch account as well. I am the Witch of Paint, and I will see you next Sunday. Bye!